Shall I tell you what's marginally better than this beautiful hot weather at this moment in time? That's hearing that we've made our first bid of the summer transfer window. Look, first of all, I'm not complaining about this weather. I love it. And it never lasts long enough. So long may it remain. And I know it's quite hot for a lot of people, but that's the Mediterranean blood in me. I just enjoy this kind of weather. Anyway, yes, we've made our first bid. We've made our first offer. So we have been told by Romano. But earlier this morning, I did a show talking about the arrival of two new faces at West Ham United. And well, this afternoon, we heard officially that Daniel Cummings has confirmed signing on a long-term deal for West Ham United. And despite the suggestions and what I said this morning about Graham Potter and Mark Noble convincing the player to sign because he would be promised first team football, instead, it's been confirmed that Cummings will indeed be joining the under 21 development team for pre-season training. Now, there's no doubt if Cummings impresses Potter, either in pre-season or during the season for the under 21s, then there's no reason why Potter can't promote him into the senior team, especially for games like, cup competitions and stuff like that. Now, we're still awaiting the official confirmation of last summer's signing, Mohammed Kante, and I've no doubt that that will happen anytime soon. And of course, we have to endure the painful knowledge that Mohammed Kudus might be signing for Spurs of all teams. Look, I know it's going to sound like sour grapes, but if he ends up at Tottenham Hotspur, I just wish nothing but the worst of times for him. I would even prefer to swallow that bitter pill of seeing him sign for either Arsenal or Chelsea over Spurs. But not one of them would be really palatable, to be quite honest with you. Now, of the English teams who might not do so well in the Champions League next season, it could be Spurs, and they might find themselves out of the competition sooner rather than later. I wonder how Kudus will feel if he ends up signing for Spurs and then not seeing them progress in the Champions League. Would he mope around in the same way that he seems to have done all last season at West Ham? Going to be interesting to see what happens. Bitter? Yeah, got to be honest. If he signs for Tottenham Hotspur, I would feel bitter about it, but it is what it is. But the story of the afternoon is that West Ham have finally started movement in the transfer window and have made a number of bids for players. Now, what's more is that West Ham are confident in securing the signing of at least two players in early part of July. Now, early part of July for me means anything up to the 10th of July. Otherwise, we're already midway into July. And do you know what's even more refreshing than that? One of the players that was mentioned by Romano earlier today wasn't on anyone's list. No ITK was aware of it. No social media channel, etc., was aware of it. And of course, the story is that we've made a move. We've made an offer for Slavia Prague's Hadji Malick Diouf. Now, let's not confuse this player with Hadji Diouf, because he's not coming out of retirement anytime soon. Although, to be honest with you, many fans would expect that of this current board, wouldn't they? Now, Diouf is a player who operates down the left side of the field. He can play at left back. He can play left midfield. He can play left wing. He can play as a wing back. He's been classed as a wing back. And he would be ideal for what Graham Potter wants to do at West Ham United. He's already shown his hand, Potter that is, by preferring probably three at the back with two wing backs. So imagine Aaron Wan-Bissaka going bombing down the right-hand side of the pitch, and with someone like Diouf bombing down the left side. So what do we know about him? Well, Diouf only signed for, he's a Senegalese international. He's made 4 appearances for the Senegalese senior side, and he only signed for Slavia Prague back in January 2024 for a fee of just 2.5 million euros. And already, within a year and a half, he's worth around 20 million euros. His development, he started his development at a Senegalese academy, Mawade Wade. That's what it's called, Mawade Wade. I'm not making it up. Which was named after a Senegalese manager who managed the national team before Wade joined the Confederation of African Football. Now, Diouf's first move was when Norwegian club Tromsø signed him for a fee of £50,000 in early 2023 when he just turned 19. Within a year, Diouf was already on the move to Slavia Prague, as I said, for £2.5 million. In that short space of time, he's already made 50 senior appearances, scoring 9 goals with 4 assists. And of those 50 appearances, he has played 8 times in the Europa League and a further 4 times in the Champions League. So why the fuss over this player? For those who were paying close attention, he was part of the Senegal team who recently beat England 3-1. He's fit, exceptionally so, and his versatility, as I said, allows him to play in various positions down the left side of the field. Diouf is a creative force, often overlapping into winger zones and delivering dangerous crosses. He thrives in possession-heavy systems and is a menace in the final third of the field. Now, if you want a high-risk, high-reward attacking fullback, Diouf is your guy. If you need someone that's more reliable, more defensively solid, then maybe he might not be that kind of player at this moment in time. But he's got pace to burn. He would offer that in abundance, as well as being entertaining. But he's not only a goal scorer, he's a goal creator, a goal provider, and he's got an excellent left foot in crossing that ball into the attacking part of the pitch. And he's a fantastic on the ball as well. He's great. He's a great dribbler. He's an exciting watch. In fact, the more I read about him, the more I think he's far more suited as a left winger than he is as a left back. But maybe a left wing back with a solid left-sided centre back behind him could be good. Now, if we compare his stats to that of the top 5, the average stats in the top 5 European leagues, his stats are really, really good. More goals scored, more goal assists, more progressive passes, more crosses into the box. But as I've mentioned, he needs to work on his defensive duties. Excited? Well, I think we ought to be. We ought to also be aware that Bournemouth are looking for a replacement to Milos Kerkez, who recently signed for Liverpool. So there are quite a few Premier League teams who are interested in this player. But if we do get a player like Diouf over the line, then this demonstrates a number of things. Finally, we have an answer that we will actually be spending money rather than waiting to sell, which ends the myth that we're broke and have to sell before we buy. We're finally getting involved in the transfer market. Potter is 100% aiming for a much more youthful team, and our transfer targets are not as obvious as they might seem to be. As I said, no one spotted our ambition to sign Diouf. So there are a lot of things to look forward to. There are a lot of things to be excited about. We're finally beginning to make our mark in this transfer window. And I do hope that all the other stories that we're hearing are just bluff in order to allow West Ham to focus on the players that are not in the public eye, that are not on our social media channels, including this one. I don't mind that. I don't mind bringing you the news that we're signing a player after a bid's been made. Look, we've made a bid. It's been rejected initially. The Czech side believe he's worth more than what we've offered, but the bid is not a lowball bid. I think the bid was around about 17 million euros, and I think we're going to go back in for a bid of about 20 million. Let's hope we do that. 20 million is about 17 million pounds. Let's hope we do that. Let's hope we get this one over the line, and let's see who else is coming up next. Look, we've started. That's the thing that we've got to look forward to. We've started to make our mark in the transfer window, well over a month since the transfer window opened. So let's hope it's progress from here on in. Thank you for watching and listening. Do leave your comments. Do you know anything about this player? I certainly didn't until I looked up his details when it was announced that we made a bid for him. But leave your comments. Please do hit the like button if you've enjoyed the show. And please also consider subscribing to the channel. Costs nothing to subscribe. All the content is free. My apologies if you're hearing the noise outside. I've got the window open and I've got the fan on and I'm still roasting. But hey, it's summer. So let's enjoy it.